Start now. As you can see on the screen. So this is the topic that we are discussing today: sleep issues related to ASD kids. We are again very thankful to Dr. Deepika for agreeing to do this session, which is a very important topic for us all parents. So Deepika, I think you can start now. I will stop sharing.
Okay. I'm starting. Okay. So hello everyone, I'm Dr. Deepika Gupta. I'm an occupational therapist, a pediatric occupational therapist, a gold medalist in the field of occupational therapy. Thank you, Myski, for giving me the good opportunity to talk about a particular topic through which parents are really struggling with. So frequently I'm listening this thing that my child was earlier sleeping very properly, now sleep is disturbed. What happens suddenly? Now what we can do? So these are the frequent things I'm listening day by day in my practicing. So first we need to think about what is sleep actually. Why sleep is important, why this happens, why we always sleep at the night only, why not whole day, how it affects our life, and lastly we will discuss about the strategies by which we can rule out the sleep issues and we'll be relaxed. So sleep disturbance, it is of two types particularly. First is delayed speech and second is the disturbed sleep. So ASD kids, as we all know, as the age rises, our sleep get reduced day by day. So first we'll talk about the how long a child sleeps in a day. As I have read about few theses. This is not my perception only. I have gone through with many of the theses and I have ruled that about 0 to 3 years, the child's sleep should be 12 to 14 hours a day. It can be a total of a day nap and the night sleep. A proper of 8 to 9 hours of night sleep, and after that we can have a nap in the daytime also. Then from 3 to 6, the sleep reduced to 10 to 12. And then from 7 to 12, it can be 8 to 10 hours a day. So it is a summation of day nap and the night sleep. So two type of sleep issues through which parents are struggling are these are the disturbed sleep and the delayed sleep. So what happens in the delayed sleep? As child wants to sleep at the night and parents are telling that now this is the sleeping time, they'll went to the bedroom and they'll start sleeping, but child is not able to sleep. He delays the sleep. He's not able to initiate that. Suppose our time to sleep is 10 p.m. in the night, but child takes the time till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the midnight, and he just plays and walks here and there, but he's not able to take the sleep. After 3 to 4 hours of intensive play, the child gets slightly relaxed and then he sleeps. The second type of sleep is disturbed. The child sleeps whenever the parents ask, let's sleep at night at 8 or 9 or 10. They sleep. But what happens with a little voice or some sound, some on and off of light or any of the sensory issues, the child wake up immediately. Or it can be a food issue. Child feels that the stomach is now empty and he immediately wakes up, and then he take time again to go for sleep, and this will disturb the sleep of the parents as well. Some children says that my child is not sleeping, that's why we are not able to feel relaxed and we are not sleeping. So these type of two issues through which parents are struggling, but they are not aware what kind of sleep issues they are struggling with. So these are the two, one, the delayed and the disturbed. We need to rule out through which your child is struggling. So what are the issues behind through which sleep get disturbed? Some issues are like parents were saying, ma'am, before the age of 3, my child was sleeping properly. Now, as from his last birthday, child is not sleeping. He's disturbing us. He wants to swing. He wants to roam around. He wants to eat more. So with this factor, we need to rule what are the issues behind why he's not taking the sleep as the child was taking earlier. So there are many factors in the neurodiverse kid. This happens very frequently. Like in neurotypical kids, child sleeps in the night, but in neurodiverse, this is the main factor that child doesn't want to sleep. So in the neurodiverse children, we all know that social issue is one of the problem. They are socially very lack. Parents take them to the bed and into the quilt, but they are not aware what is happening around because they are not observing. They are not socially well. They are not seeing anything what is happening around. They just want to play. They just want to be in his life. They are not observing us, what parents are demanding, what is happening. There is night. Nothing is happening. They just want to play. So first issue is the social issue. Second is the anxiety. As we have take the dinner, the anxiety immediately get increased. So this is a major issue that child get very much excited and walking, moving, and child doesn't sleep. This mainly cause the delayed sleep pattern. Third is the sensory issue. We all know that neurodiverse kids are having the sensory issues, a lot of sensory issues they are struggling with. So because of the sensory issues like on and off of light, if any blanket is changed, the texture is changed, father has just gone to washroom and some voice, something happens and child wakes up immediately. This happens in the disturbed sleep. So sensory issues work for this thing. Might be the texture of the quilt is not good for the child. Child is not accepting the color of the bed sheet or the area where where his bed lies. He's not liking that. Some light is coming outside the room. So that these are all the sensory issues which we need to see that child is not sleeping or he just get immediately disturbed when something happens in the room. The next is internal illness. Sometimes this happens that child is having slight stomachache. He's not crying, but he's not well from inside. That for that we need to go to a concerned medical person to see why child is not sleeping, because medical issues also lies and this occurs. So next is the illness. Might be his nose is blocked or there is too much wax inside the ear. So this also goes into the medical complications, and you can go to the physicist or the pediatrician to rule about your problem, and they will give you the thing so that child will have a proper sleep in the night. So next is the eating issues. That is very common in the children because in the Indian culture, what I have observed in the night, usually we give milk at the night, which increases hyperactivity, because in milk, we usually induce some sugar contents. So which increases the hyperactivity in the child. And might be in some houses, caffeine coffee is being given, or some children do overeating in the night time. So this will all goes towards the hyperactivity, and child gets too much hyper, just jumping and taking swing and want to lie on the father's body. This happens. So this will cause the delayed sleep pattern. Next is the bed consistency. In Indian culture, this is not very consistent, but now for those the mothers are working and they are in the profession so that they need to work in the night time, their bedtime is not consistent. And usually what happens, 5 days we take the sleep at 9 o'clock, but after on Fridays or Saturdays we usually go for some outings, or we are just suffering from something, or we are just watching movies and doing something, and this delays our sleep. We are as an adult, we are not consistent with our sleep. One day we are sleeping at 9 o'clock, one day we are sleeping at 12 o'clock. So how we can expect from a child that he will sleep at 10? So we have to first consistent. We have to see the psychology of the child, that the night time should be consistent. This is one of the factors in the modern life I have been observing, that their life cycle, their night sleep is not that much consistent. Okay, next is the day nap. Usually what happens, till 4 o'clock in the day, child is just walking and just exploring his things, going school, going for therapies here and there. Mama is also walking around. And after 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, child takes a nap. And he takes a nap for 2 hours and 3 hours. So how we can expect a child to sleep at 10 o'clock? This will never happen. So we need to think that before 4 o'clock, take a nap, and the nap should be not more than 2 hours. If the nap will be of 3 hours or 4 hours or prolonged, then we can't expect the child to sleep before 12 o'clock in the night. This happens. And lastly, the factor is related to melatonin level. This increases the tryptophan protein, which is mainly responsible for the for us to sleep in the nighttime also, because in the dark, when there is darkness around, the tryptophan level is higher. So that's why we all sleep in the night. But with ASD kids, what happens, either the release of tryptophan is very high or it is very less. So for this factor, you can go to consult a doctor, your pediatrician. They will give you some medicine, and there's nothing to harm to take that medicine for the sleeping issues. Once his sleeping will be consistent, so you can drop off with the medicines after the prescription of the advice of your pediatrician. So these are the factors by which our sleep get disturbed. And we all know, when our sleep is disturbed, what happens to next day? In my case, if I will take less sleep in the night, 2 hours or 3 hours, it is less. Next day, I will be very irritated. I'm not very good in my profession. I'll be like slightly frustrated on my clients also. I try to regulate myself, but I'm not okay mentally. And I try to be like, I want to sleep early. I want to sleep early. This always occur in my mind. So this happens. So what happens if the child is having inconsistent sleep pattern from prolonged times? Then this definitely reflects on his hyperactivity, his cognition level. So hyperactivity will changes into anxiety also. Aggression we can see on his faces. He can even bite. He can even snatch your hairs. He can hit his head or do head banging. You can easily see if your child's sleep is not that much consistent. And I have observed this in many of the kids. And the cognition level ultimately gets reduced. That I have seen in many of the kids, that the cognition level gets reduced. Child who was doing the things very nicely, now the cognition level reduced, that he's not even able to do ABCD or just coloring inside. He's just doing coloring outside the boundaries. He's doing, but not in a proper way. Or he's just doing when parents are very much pushing them to do this work, do that work. Either he'll get a drop off, or he's just doing in inappropriate way. And irritation you can see on his faces. So lastly, we will talk about the strategies in which we need to work. So before sleeping, we all are very relaxed. We have to be very relaxed before we go to sleep. So we need to make the child very relaxed. So what we can do for relaxing the child? When you, for example, you have taken a dinner at 8 o'clock, just take a 1 hour of break. Don't do anything in that 1 hour. Let the child explore the things and roam around the room. And then you can try some calming strategies with the child. Do the brushing, the vibration of the child. If the child is not accepting the vibration, you can keep the vibrator inside his quid, so that he'll indirectly get the vibration, but he's not aware that something is inside in his quid. You can do this, and you can wrap the child inside the blanket, do some massages on his head, his shoulder, his little tapping of that with that ball, gym ball, because it is a 180-degree ball. The compression which goes into the body is very relaxing. If you just tap, don't be just pressurize, don't do too much pressure, just tap that on the entire body, avoiding the genital parts of the kid. That you can do with the child. Next is the exercise related to for those kids who are very hyperactive, those who don't want to accept anything. Just make him to do some walks, like bear walk, or you can ask him for the crab walk. Just ask him to do some activities related to the walks. Ask him to do some heavy work, like pushing or pulling heavy objects. These are the exercises, so his body will get exhausted somehow, and he will accept that sleep. Next, what you can do, you can keep the child on the swing, not the fast swing. I'm not telling the fast swing, because he will that will induce the anxiety level in the child more. Use the rhythmic swing. Mainly what important is, take the child on your shoulder and do like with the few sounds, like a lori, which we have used in the earlier days. You can use that. Sing a few rhymes or sleeping rhymes with the child, and just tap on his head. He will be relaxed, and then he will be asleep. You can use those exercises with the child. Next is the food patterns that you need to avoid. Reduces more the heavy, like chapati, heavy things, which we all know that GFCF is quite harmful for our kids. I'm not telling you just eliminate the chapatis and the milk. I'm not agree with those things. But in the night time, you can reduce the quantity of that and induce more fibers, like cucumber kind of things. You can induce more salads in the child. And don't allow your child to do the overeating. The food item should be less, so that he will be more relaxed after the food items taken, and he will sleep. Because overeating also induces hyperactivity in the child. Don't give sugar in the night. Reduce the caffeine and avoid the milk. This is the main thing you need to do with the child, with the diet of the child. Make a routine. You have to be consistent. See, with the neurodiverse kid, the key of getting success is the consistency. You have to be consistent with your routine. Please be consistent. Don't do like till Thursdays we are sleeping at 8 o'clock, and on Friday, because it is Friday night or Saturday night, we are just seeing the YouTube and these kind of things. We ourselves are not consistent. That's why the child is not consistent with us. Be consistent with the routine, the sleeping routine, and sleep with the child. Mother should sleep with the child. Use a particular. Yes. Whosoever has asked me this question, big pillows, yes, you can use big pillows. It is a very good option, but the pillow should be like very soft, having the softness. It should not be a cotton type hard. It should be a fibrous. Okay, so routine, we were talking about the routine. So make the routine of the child. For those children who are going to school and who can somewhere who can read or write, who are able to, you can place a blackboard or any chart on the bed area of the child and write the things. At 8 o'clock, we'll do dinner. 1 hour, we'll do this thing, and this time we will do this thing. And now it is 10. It's time to sleep. Make a picture of that. Sleep. Now the child is sleeping. So for those kids who are able to read, you can use this kind of things, and we can use the music as well. Use dim light in your rooms. Make the room very pleasing for the child, very calm. If you have seen the US videos, what parents have done, they have made a different room for the sleep. They have used very light color for the sleeping. They have used that kind of paints. And the music, the very melodious music you can use. Don't ask the child to see any TV or any video. It should be only auditory. There's no video in the night time. So there's some melodious music. Or if the child is not able to sleep in the dark only, then you can use a dim light. Very dim light, not a orange or red color dim light, but it should be a blue color or green color, because the white color, these are the colors which induces more darkness in the room. So your child will be very calm before sleeping and he will take the sleep. Okay, before sleeping, avoid the screening. No screening with parents also. You also keep your phones off. If you will see and the child is sleeping, child will immediately wake up, because he has the mindset, why Papa is saying, this is the time to sleep. Now, Papa is saying, Mama is saying, why I am only sleeping? Everyone is watching this. So he also wants to watch. So please, after the food happens, the dinner time happens, just keep your cameras, your phones, your laptop, everything should be switched off. And please ask the child to sleep and keep your things aside on the bed. So this will help the child to sleep at a particular time and in a particular way. That will be very helpful for the child. Please reduce the screening time. And I'm focusing this again and again, because I have seen in many of the parents that this is happening. So be very consistent with your routine and your screening as well. So, and give him a touch. See, our children, they like touch. They like some firm touch. Mostly children like the mother's touch. See, from the day they have been birthed, they have taken the life. So they are with the mother. Mother has feed them. So what you can do, keep your, if the child is not sleeping and taking the sleep, so I am requesting to the mothers, in the night time, use the fur kind of clothes. Whatever you are using in the night time, use fur type of things, so that when the child will touch you, he will be very relaxed after touching, and he likes the touch of the mother. Be with the child. Don't leave the child during the sleep time. Keep with him. Keep your leg. I'm focusing. Keep your leg on the child's lap. He will like that. Child likes the mother, the touch of the mother. Rarely they like the touch of father in the nighttime, but usually this happens, especially with boys. They like the touch of mother. So mothers, keep your leg on the child's legs. So his legs will be relaxed, because legs are the things through which they are roaming around all over the room throughout the entire day. So keep your legs there. And before keeping your leg, what you can do, you can just do some massages on his calf areas, calf muscles, because if you are a runner, you must be aware that when we run for prolonged time, we'll have some cramps or some pain in our calf muscles. So you can just make him relax by using any olive oil kind of thing. I'm not focusing on any other oil. Just use slight olive oil and make him relax by doing some massages at the calf muscles area. Those who are not aware about the calf muscles, They are the muscles below that is the area just below the knee and above the ankle. So you can just press those. In the ancient time, in the earlier time, we does that with the elder people to touch their calf muscles so that they will relax. That happens with the older people. But now this is the time that we need to do with our kids also. You have to do and keep your leg with on the child's leg, and he will be relaxed. So next thing I can add on, like story time. This happens with many of the parents that they use the bed story time. Mostly children doesn't like that because they are not able to understand those, but this is for those kids who are above the age of 5 or 7 or 8. And they listen to mother's stories. So they like the small social stories. You can add any of the bedtime story with your child, but don't be consistent with the story, particular story. Keep changing the story. After every 2 days, you need to change the story. Child will take the thing. Okay. What we can do in the relaxing strategies. So you can wrap your child, do the tappings, and more on the head part, do the relaxation massages on the head, on the shoulder, on the knee, on this part, starting from the wrist till the tip, and the toes. Do the slight relaxing things. You will be you will see the changes in your child. That child has started taking the sleep. So these are all the strategies that I have tell you, but this magic doesn't happen in 1 or 2 days or 10 to 15 days. This never happens. You have to be consistent with your routine. So this is for all of you parents, like be consistent. Magic never happens in 10 to 15 days. You have to be consistent. Like ideally, as an OT, we usually say, ma'am, be consistent till 3 months. But I have seen for those parents who were very consistent, very particular with the thing, who were listening very nicely and doing the things at home, I have observed that the magic happens after 1 month only. But they were those who were very consistent. But those who were not that much consistency, our body is like if we start something exercise or yoga or meditation, nothing happens in 10 to 15 days. Our body is something which takes at least 90 days to happen something. Magic happens after 90 days if you're consistent with the things. But every child is having the different pace of learning. We have to respect that. We can't push the child to do sleep. We can't do like this. So we have to see the child learning and his capability to learn. All are having different pace. We have to respect them and be consistent with your routine. Don't feel frustrated. I know we usually as a parent feel frustrated because we have lot of things to do in the daytime. We have other kids, we have other responsibilities, we have grandparents, we have therapies, we have school, we have many things, but we have to be consistent with our sleep. Once the child starts sleeping in a consistent way, wait for 2 to 3 weeks. And after 3 weeks, you can think to do anything else, but be consistent. See, 1 month consistency is required. Then his cycle will be maintained. Once it will be maintained, the next day of the child will be very good. If you are consistent, then his irritation level, his frustration level, his anger will get reduced ultimately.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for listening me all very patiently. You have all listened to me. Any question if you want to ask, can ask me related to
I just want to tell everyone that anyone can contact Deepika directly also. She is available for she's doing this OTs for she has her own, she is consulting, helping many parents, so they can contact Deepika directly also. And I found this topic very good. Personally, I think other parents must have also found. So we will also request Deepika to do a follow-up session maybe next week on this, because in 1 week it cannot be completed. So next Sunday, if she's available, we will do a follow-up session, and we will do a little longer, maybe for 1 hour. On Zoom we have restriction of 40 minutes, but we may do it on Meet. This is just a request. If other parents also agree, then we will do. Otherwise, parents, you can directly contact Deepika. She is also available for personal consultations. Hello? Yeah, Deepika, we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. We cannot hear you.
I'm so sorry. Actually, my network was fluctuating. Can you please tell me anything related to me you have just told?
Yeah, I was just saying that they can contact you directly, and we will request you for a session next week on the same topic. That's all.
Okay. I will tell you, you can be with your questions. It can be a Q&A kind of. You can be with your many of the question. I will be very thankful to answer you all. And you're welcome to ask me anything related through which you are struggling with related to the sleep. Because I know this is a very big topic. And I will tell you the pattern through which we can strategize these things.
Thank you.
I will be with more demonstration also.
Thank you. Then we'll all again meet next week. In the meantime, anyone can contact Deepika directly. Thank you, Deepika.
Okay.